Good evening, everybody. How are you this evening? Good evening, good evening. Right, let me just check if this mic is on. Hold on. I've got two mics. Let me just see if this is working. Oh, it is. It is. Hello, hello. There we go. It's over all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening for those of you just joining us for the first time. Welcome to the Care Manager Inner Circle. My name's Jonathan, and welcome to all of you this evening. Once again, it's always nice to have you on board on this this lovely Thursday. So, how's your Thursday been? Once again, if you're watching on a little bit later, maybe tomorrow morning, maybe on the commute, maybe it's later this evening, hashtag catch up. But as always, it is an absolute delight to have you here this evening. So how's your week going? Tomorrow, quite a bit going on, actually. Of course, we're now into almost week 2, aren't we, of our visiting. I've got the news. I've got some filming tomorrow. They gave me a phone call today. This is the news. It's actually ITN, and they said, "Can we come and film from Birkdale Park?" Now, whether or not they turn up, that's another thing. These producers suddenly phone you and sort of say these things. So we will wait and see. We don't know. But anyway, we will see. So they're looking to get some of the new visiting and also the essential caregiving as well. We've got several families there, so you never know. It's always good. So we've got a few people in tonight. Facebook user, hi. I love all these Facebook users. Good evening. And Heather King, hello Heather. Good evening from Heather. Well, good to see you. Once again, good to see you all. Put our little banner back on. So there we go. It's back on there. So later tonight, I just want to talk about self-sabotage. We've all been there at some point in our lives, and some people you will know those colleagues in your place where you've worked or in previous organizations are habitual self-sabotagers, or maybe that's you. And what it doesn't mean you're going around sort of shooting people and all the rest of it. But it does mean, though, that your behaviors, your thoughts, your words, your deeds, your actions do not contribute to your long-term goals. It's simple as that. Whatever you're doing is not contributing to where you want to be in life, for your long-term life desires, both in terms of short, medium, and long-term. And so you're almost actively working against it. And there's lots of reasons, and we'll go through some of the signs, shortly. And the reasons why this is important is because it can erode your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your relationships, your career, your life ambition. And I think if you don't recognize that and recognize that there could be behaviors, there could be thoughts which perpetuate that, then you need to understand that first and foremost. Like anything in life, you just need to recognize that, and also understand that it can be quite deep-seated. We're not talking about it's at times a quick fix. It's not a case of, well, just stop doing it. If it was that easy, people would stop doing it. But the truth is that for a number of reasons, first and foremost, a lot of people don't recognize they're doing, and their behaviors are actions or behaviors of self-sabotage. And also, it's so ingrained because it comes from your subconscious. And as I've said in the past, you've got your conscious brain. Your conscious brain is probably like a little walnut. So it's like your conscious brain is a little walnut, and your subconscious brain is enormous. It's like a great big melon. And so that's the difference. And the way to change your subconscious, because that's undoubtedly the main behaviors and thoughts and words and deeds and that you currently display as adults, comes from undoubtedly the period of 0 to 4, and also a second stage between 4 and 7. And that's how you're brought up. It's what you're exposed to in terms of, so if you're a particularly tactile person, that might have had a lot to do with the way you're brought up between 0 and 4, where you start to create emotional bonds, and very much your emotions are shaped. And it goes on, and then you go through various stages. Your social stage is between 12 and 18. And that's where you start to learn about people and then the sociology of people and reactions and relationships. I digress, but so there's a lot of psychology, but it can be deep seated, and I think it's understand. So it's very much that's it's not always an easy fix. So let me just go through some of the signs of self-sabotage, and again, I'm not saying that you've been displaying these, but it's quite handy just to know. First and foremost, are you going for jobs and continually not getting them? Are you self-sabotaging your own career, self-sabotaging your own relationships, the people around you? It's not always in terms of your intimate relationships, but people around you. And so have an understanding about, what does self-sabotage look like? Well, some of this is here, and I'll sort of go through this. First, or no particular order, do you blame others? Is life is happening to you rather than you deciding your own destiny in life? So does life just happen to you, and you're as a result of what happens to you in life, or do you take the front foot? And so therefore a lot of people blame others. They're always the ones that they're never to blame. The circumstance, their environment is totally to blame. They weren't given the chances, they weren't given the opportunities compared with other people, but they continually blame others, and it's never their self. And one of the most liberating things in life is when you take total ownership of something, regardless of how at the time you think, well, I wasn't totally to blame for that. But if you take total ownership from it, you find that you no longer start to be, or you start to become incredibly successful, routinely and consistently successful, because it's not in voodoo cards. It isn't anything like that. It's not in terms of the, I was going to say in terms of the, I was going to say tarot cards, but it's, it's not in the hands of the gods. It's entirely in your hands. Are you a quick quitter? Are these things which, in terms of you start a challenge, but you're very quick to stop because you find there's obstacles in the way, and you start to inform yourself that you haven't got the resources, that the resources haven't been given to you to be successful, and therefore you quit. And that could be relationship, that could be in terms of your career, your job. Are you a quick quitter, or do you stick stuff thing? Do you stick the problem out and see it through? And therefore, as one of the reasons for that, do you focus on problems in your life? I remember a chap who came along when we were in the event management world. This was with Storm, and I paid this guy a lot of money to come and assist me with the delivery of Extreme Storm, which was in 2013, which was being delivered over the whole of Southport, and it was an incredible event. And he came, and we were just chalk and cheese. He was a glass half empty guy, and as most of you know, I'm a glass undoubtedly half full guy. And he spent the first 24 hours where I brought him up here to analyze our plans for this incredible event. And he just ripped it apart and told me everything that was wrong. He just found all these obstacles of why it wouldn't happen. And I said, that's fine, Chris, but I said, why not? Give me all the reasons why this is possible. So we were total poles apart, but he focused on all the problems. And for every solution I had, he had 1,000 problems. And it was just, and in the end, I had to get rid of him. We were just never, ever going to get on. And I just found him completely and utterly irritating. And it was never going to go on. It was never going to go, we were never going to get on. So procrastination, are you a procrastinator? And there are a number of reasons for procrastination. Do you suffer from overwhelm? Are you an overthinker? And we all at times do suffer from overwhelm, and we overthink, but understands that overthinking is an absolute curse. And And I say frequently to my team, are we overthinking this? Let's stop the over. We can overtalk it, overthink it, or we can just bloody well just get on and do it. And I think there's a beauty in just saying, effing well, get on and do it, please, quickly. And so that really just helps. So procrastination, are you a procrastinator? Do you find complex things? Do you complicate the easy, etc.? So procrastination is one of the signs of self-sabotage. Do you pick fights with people? Is that an indication of your own ego? But people around you, do you find fault in their work? Do you find fault in them? Are you quite an abrasive individual? Are you not a team player? Do people find it difficult to work in a team with you because you're not particularly emotionally intelligent? And so, or do you see that on other people? So they're the sort of things. So pick fights, or do you see other people that pick fights frequently? You tend to surround yourselves by, surround yourselves by negative, toxic people. And that could be in your relationships. That could be at place of work. Do you gravitate towards negative people? Do you enjoy gossiping? Do you enjoy the sort of negativity? Do you enjoy focusing on the faults and failings and moaning about things? Do you find enjoyment in moaning about things? Or are the people that I'm describing now that you think that's exactly them? Lack clarity. Most people who self-sabotage just lack clarity in their life. They don't know what they want. They may think they know what they want, but they don't know what they want. And so they don't have any goals or ambitions, or they don't have clarity in their life. And so they meander around. They're a bit of a magpie. They jump from a little shiny thing to shiny thing. Do you know a boss that continually is going from one project to another without completing that project before they've moved on to something else, or they've got another harebrained idea before they continually move on? These things do not bring success in life. They can irritate a team. And one thing which brings a fabulous team together is clarity, beautiful, simplistic clarity on a project or a mission. And the final one then, there we go, like clarity. And there you go, put yourself down. Do you continually put yourself down? Do you continually find fault and failing in are you listening to that little voice inside all the time? And giving it time to put you down. So let's just see who you might have just said. So we've got Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Evening, just got home. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, we're always good, living the dream. So another Facebook user, so able to catch you live tonight. Well, lovely to see you. Procrastination. So and there's someone there saying, hi, Mr. C, or hello, Facebook user. So once again, it's great to have you along. So let's see what we can do about this. Let me get my other banner on. Hold on, stick with it. There we go. It's back on again. I'm right fancy with my little banners. So I just want to go through just finally how to avoid it. Well, how to avoid it is to make sure you don't do any of those sort of things and do the exact opposite. That's how to avoid it. But also understand that self-sabotage can be a deep-seated behavior which is taught and is actually is part of it can be part of your subconscious. But just like anything, it can be rewired, remapped, and you can teach yourselves new behaviors and new way of thinking. You don't always have to succumb to self-sabotage. You don't, if you're destined and you continually have poor relationships, then that doesn't mean you're always going to have poor relationships. So I think first and foremost, identify the behavior, identify that those behaviors in yourself or possibly others, and decide that, you're going to do something about it. Recognize that there is another way, that you're not destined to always be, to do well and then to self-sabotage, and and to recognize there is another way. Understand your triggers. So what are your triggers in your place of work, or maybe your relationships, that you then start to see some of the behaviors and thoughts? And all of these things start with thoughts, that you start thinking in a self-sabotage way, and it becomes then a self-fulfilling prophecy. And therefore understand that. So learn your triggers, understand your triggers of what then starts that thinking, and just avoid that. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable failing. Get comfortable in your own life when it comes to. So the reason why you're comfortable is because you're comfortable with the thoughts that you've always enjoyed and always sort of certainly had in your head, and so therefore get comfortable in a new way, and that can be challenging. It can be actually very liberating. And recently I started on a leadership course, and I found myself in the most terrible uncomfortableness because it's not what I was used to. And that's, so action learning was actually it. So where you don't give solutions, you have to listen. I find it really tough because I want to give solutions. You want to do this, this, this. And so I'm getting a lot out of it because I'm really uncomfortable. So that's good. That's good. Communicate and talk with it. If you've got some good mates, then communicate with them, because that does help. And also, get a mentor or a coach, get someone who you can really confide in to say, look, these are some of the problems I'm having, these, and that's, strictly confidential. And there are care managers out there who have coaches, who have mentors, who, they just check in once a week and you say, right, okay, these are sort of issues we've got. And they can keep you online and be very, very effective. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us on a Thursday night. Have a fabulous weekend. And again, so just think of those things. I'm just thinking, who else is? Oh, there we go. Facebook. Also, I'm also a perfectionist. Does my head in. Thank you for that. Well, perfectionism is a nightmare. I always say, don't have a perfectionist on your team. So actually, sorry about that. But yeah, no, and thank you for sharing that. But it's actually true. Perfectionism can be one of those. But once again, there are, get comfortable being uncomfortable about accepting that, perfectionism, you're not always going to get 100%, and that 80% will absolutely be fine, and get comfortable in that sort of state as well. Team, have a lovely time, fabulous weekend. Look after yourself, be kind, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.